Yo, what's going on, guys? And today I wanted to talk about who will the Orlando Magic draft in the second round. So before we start today's video, I want to hear your opinions. Who would you guys draft if you were the Orlando Magic with your second round pick? They have the 33rd pick in the NBA draft, which is the third pick in the NBA draft. So let's get right into today's video and talk about who we believe the Orlando Magic will draft. Again, let me hear those comments before we start today's video down below in the comment section on who you think they should draft. And let's get right into today's video and talk about what do the Orlando Magic need. And that is primarily they need shooting and a primary ball handler, okay? And this is nothing against, the Magic or anything, but they need a guy who can be their primary guy. All right, I really like the young players on this roster, from RJ Hampton and Jonathan Isaac to Chuma, Okeke, and Wendell Carter Jr. But I like most of them as secondary starters offensively, at least. Not necessarily the man at the head of the snake. They need to try and find the guy and bet on offensive upside with one of their two picks. And beyond that, they also need shooters. This front offense has consistently devalued shooting to its detriment over the course of its time in Orlando. Time to rectify that as they are trying to figure out what players on this roster can and can't be part of the next winner in Orlando. Now, at 5 and 8, I believe their options should be Jonathan Kuminga, James Bouknight, Moses Moody, and Keon Johnson. I have them currently taking Scotty Barnes with the 5th pick. That's who I have. The other person who could go with the 5th pick is Jonathan Kuminga. I think they're going to go Scotty Barnes with the 5th pick, and then with the 8th pick, Keon Johnson. But if James Bouknight is available, I'm going to the Golden State Warriors at 7. They could go Keon Johnson. But Moses Moody is another guy. Moses Moody, Corey Kesper, Franz Wagner are all guys at 8. I think at 5, they should take Scotty Barnes, no question asked, at 8. So let's get into the second round. Now, I have them taking with the 33rd pick, Herbert Jones, who's a 4-year start, or pretty much almost start for all 4 years at Alabama, and he looks like a decent shooter, and he's improved every single year, and he's heading in the right direction. He's a guy who is a solid distributor, and he can defend the 1 through 5, and he averaged 7 rebounds past 2 years, over almost 2 steals a game with over 1 block a game for the past 2 years. He's a guy I think who can day one come in and contribute off the bench for the Orlando Magic, and he's got NBA size, in my opinion, right now. So if I was Orlando, I would be looking at this man right now as a player who can contribute now. Now, another guy I really like, I know they have Markelle Fultz and Cole Anthony, but if Bones Hyland falls right there, I really like the idea of Bones Hyland going right there. I think he's a guy who is awesome. I really, really, really enjoy Bones Hyland. He's a first-round talent, and if he falls to them at 3, I think that is a steal on their part, and that this should be a player that they no questions asked they should be taking. Okay, Hyland doesn't just sound like a villain from a Nicolas Cage movie. He's a bucket getter and showed immense improvement from his freshman to his sophomore year at VCU. He looks like a good shooter and had success from deep both season, although his efficiency did fall this past season as he had higher volume of shots. His free throw shooting dramatically improved to help you feel better about his outside shooting. And Bones isn't just the show that airs before the NBA on TNT anymore. It's now a backup point guard to, I think, a starting level point guard in the NBA, or high-end backup. Now, my next guy is Joe Wieskamp. And I know some people can argue right here they're not the biggest fan of his. I am a huge fan, okay? I think he is a guy who will go way higher than many people expect, and he's going to be a guy who contribute day one, okay? And I think he's going to be a guy that people aren't going to want to miss out on, okay? And he played 3 years at Iowa, and he's had 2 seasons of shooting over 40%, and his sophomore season he shot 35%. And his strength is he's 6'7" with a 6'11" wingspan. He had the 4th best lane agility time, 6th best in the 3/4 court sprint, and 5th in the max vertical with a 42-inch jump. He has athleticism, okay? And yes, he doesn't get as much, but look, there's a lot of similarities between Wieskamp and Duncan Robinson. Both are bigger 6'7" shooters, and the size plays a pivotal role in their ability to get off shots other elite shooters can't from the wing. Having said that, Wieskamp is definitely a lesser version of Robinson right now, as Miami Heat starter has a way better feel for flying off screens and is just a bit better as a shooter. And given the weaknesses Wieskamp has that are like Robinson, there are true diminishing returns if he's 80% of Robinson versus the full version. These skills, though, are all teachable and learnable. It's incumbent upon Wieskamp to get to the point where he's not just good at running of movement, but actually elite at it to create shots for himself and draw defenders towards it. He has all the tools to do it. That's why I have him clearly as a top 40 guy and a guy who should have a guaranteed contract. And the value of shooting at his size is just too high in the NBA to not give him a guaranteed look. So yeah, I want to hear your guys' thought. I mean, another guy that could go is Santi Aldama. I say this with every team. This is a guy that he played for Loyola Maryland, which is in the Patriot League. And when you watch him, you have to remember that the quality of competition is a factor while watching him. He was utterly dominant against Patriot League players who just couldn't match his combination of skill and size. It was like plopping a professional into a mid-major league in college basketball. And NBA players will be able to match him at a greater degree, meaning there is some degree of uncertainty of how Aldama will translate to the next level. For that reason, I have him as an early second rounder that should be a priority. Okay, he might be able to stash overseas. Yes, he played in college in Loyola, but he's the son of a professional Olympic Spaniard basketball player, and he's definitely going to have offers to go play overseas. And he has the potential that I also would give him a guaranteed deal if he wants to come play right now. He's that gifted as a playmaking five who fits the modern style of play due to his perimeter and decision-making comfort. He processes the game at such a high level, and it's easy to see how with some further strength training, he could be a useful NBA player, at least a high-level backup, or even a good starter. And we'll see how he goes with the draft. He's the only player besides Tim Duncan, David West, Andrew Bogut, Jason Thompson, Lamine Diane to average over 21 points, 10 rebounds, 2.3 over 2 assists, 1.7 blocks, 1 steals. Because he averaged 1 steal, 1.7 blocks, 10.1 rebounds, 21.2 points, and 51% from the field, 37% from 3, and 70% from the free throw line. All right, that shit's going to translate pretty freaking well, in my opinion, to the NBA. But that's basically it for me today, guys. I want to hear your opinions down below. What do you guys think? Who do you think the Orlando Magic should draft? I go Herbert Jones, Bones Highland, or Joe's Wieskamp. If all three of those guys are gone somehow at this point, I would so go for our man, Santi Aldama, who should be there at 33. I mean, somebody could reach for him, which I wouldn't argue. Like, there's so many worse players you could reach for. So, hey, worse shit could happen. So that's basically it for me today, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. Comment down below, like, subscribe to help grow this channel. That's it, guys. Peace out.